But anyway, the 2016 Brazilian Grand Prix is underway, and Valtteri Bottas using the much greater straight line speed of the Williams to get past Max Verstappen, and there you go. And in fact, actually, Verstappen forced out onto slightly less favourable tarmac, means he held up Rosberg. I went to the right hand side past both of them. Both Williams, we were pulling away actually, because there was, as we saw, a massive scramble for third place. And yep, I just gave Bottas a taste of his own medicine there, setting the fastest lap. And he's going really slowly there actually. Ricciardo passes him and takes out his teammate in the process. Max Verstappen is out of the Grand Prix. Hamilton's fitting on another set of intermediate tyres, and I don't blame him. Lap 24, it's still wet. The rain should have stopped at lap 6. It pretty much did stop at lap 6. I can't sit there behind Hamilton because it's inevitable Hamilton's going to pass Bottas, so I thought I've just got to do something. And thankfully, I got ahead of Bottas. I would like to assume that team orders would come into play, although actually, nope. Hamilton's on inters. No one else is. He's not there. Lewis Hamilton isn't there. I'm going to try and pass Bottas. In fact, I went out onto the white line, got some water on the tyres, locked up, off the track. Here is the moment, because I hardly believe it myself. Here is where Lewis Hamilton, on pretty much a bone-dry track, won the Grand Prix.
This is Formula One.
Hi, how are you today? The improved package has arrived. We're having it fitted in time for FP1. Have a look at the factory report.
Right then guys, it's PSL here, and I'm here for part 20 and the final episode in my F1 2016 Williams career mode. As you can see, we've reduced the chassis weight because, well, I'm not too concerned about the 2017 season. This is the season I'm concerned about, considering I'm right on the verge of potentially winning the Drivers' Championship. So, not too surprisingly, no other team has actually bought an upgrade to this Grand Prix. But we're ending the season, Williams, we're ending the season with the quickest car on the grid, ahead of Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, all of them, which is quite impressive considering we started the season with the 4th quickest car. But anyway, it's on to the Drivers' Championship, and here are the permutations. So quite simply, if I finish in the top 4, I win, simple as. Here's where it gets interesting, and this explains how tight the championship could be. If I finish 5th and Hamilton wins, he wins the championship on race wins, because at the moment, both me and Hamilton, we've won 6 Grand Prix. So if he wins this one, that's it, he's on to 7. And then if I finish 6th to 8th and Hamilton wins, he's won. So kind of basically the top 4 is the safe zone. 5 to 8 I'm okay as long as Hamilton doesn't win. And then 9th downwards, Hamilton has to finish in the top 2 to win. So basically, if Hamilton doesn't finish in the top 2, I've won regardless. So with all that said and done, it's on to the qualifying report for the final race in the season. The final qualifying session in this 2016 season saw a dreadful end to Haas's debut season, as Esteban Gutierrez was the slowest in the first session. Grosjean didn't fare much better as he finished in 19th, joining Ericsson, Haryanto and both Renaults in being knocked out. Q2 was exactly what we've come to expect in recent Grand Prix, with Sauber, Manor, Force India and Toro Rosso all wiping out this session. And this left what is a very tasty top 10 starting grid, as the championship leader Nathan Quinn will start the race on 10th and alongside season-long rival Nico Rosberg. Button proved to be the fastest McLaren driver on the 4th row, and Ricciardo beat his old teammate Vettel for 5th. Raikkonen and Verstappen will make up the 2nd row, as Lewis Hamilton will start the Grand Prix from 2nd, with Valtteri Bottas on pole position for the 2016 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And he's going to win the Australian Grand Prix with his teammates not even in sight. Lewis Hamilton But no, it looks like we're just about going to hold on to the win for the 2016 Canadian Grand Prix.
It's twilight here in the United Arab Emirates, and twilight also on another Formula One season. It's been a captivating story throughout the year, but will we see one final dramatic twist before the end?
Right then, so here we are on the race strategy screen, and something slightly different actually. It's a free stop, and that's purely because the ultra soft tyres just do not last around the Yas Marina circuit. So the tyre strategy is ultra soft, super soft, so just gradually going on ever harder tyre compounds. And the formation lap is about to start, and it has. So we got Valtteri Bottas in first, Lewis Hamilton in second. And I'm hoping Bottas, he's got nothing left to fight for in the Drivers' Championship. I'm hoping he can help me out in some way. You know, hold up Hamilton, stop Hamilton from taking the win, will be massively helpful to me. But then again, Nico Rosberg's in ninth, and he can help out Hamilton by stopping me from overtaking. I mean, you know, all that matters now really is the Drivers' Championship and inter-team pride. So who's going to win out on both of them as the 2016 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is underway? Nothing spectacular off the start there, but what matters is who's going to be leading out of the exit of the first corner. And it looks like we've got to pass a McLaren there, and also Nico Rosberg, and there's Sebastian Vettel there going extremely slowly in between the two German drivers, but Rosberg has gone. I've got past Sebastian Vettel in the process, and I think that means I'm up into 7th place. Yes, with Daniel Ricciardo just ahead now, and got past him easily, which means I'm now into 6th position. So 6th place, only 2 away from safety. Look at the 2 guys ahead of me though, Button and Hamilton. No, sorry, Button and Verstappen. They're easy to pass. And Valtteri Bottas is leading the Grand Prix. That's brilliant news for me. That means I'm in championship position. But of course Hamilton, he isn't going to take this lying down. If he overtakes Bottas, which I think he's about to, he will now be in championship position. But Bottas fighting relentlessly. He's actually forced Hamilton off the track there. And it looks like there's a Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen who's going to take the lead off of the pair of them. So, is Raikkonen leading? Still a massive battle now for 2nd place between Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. Bottas, I really was not expecting this dedication from him. He's lost the lead, and I think he's potentially lost 2nd place. So Bottas, he tried so hard, but unfortunately, you know, Hamilton's still in 2nd. That's what matters fundamentally. Anyway, here's the race start from Nico Rosberg. So I just appear on his left-hand side. As you can see, I'm literally in between Vettel and Rosberg, and unfortunately 3 wide didn't really work. Rosberg did turn in a bit too early at that stage, but you know, you don't really prepare for that sort of scenario. And Rosberg is way down the order, but still with a perfectly intact car. Lap 2 now, and I still haven't passed Verstappen and Button, but I think I'm going to now because I'm much closer to those guys than I was on the first lap. And there you go, even without DRS, easily able to get past the Renault-powered Red Bull of Max Verstappen. And I don't think it's going to be too much longer before I pass Jenson Button. And no, Verstappen, he had a look at getting back into 5th place, but no, he's wasn't able to make that move work. So 5th place, let's not forget that I'm still in championship position with Hamilton in 2nd. And then we got Nico Hülkenberg, someone who I was slightly worried about because he qualified in 11th and was on the soft tyres. And in fact, he's been taken out actually by Pascal Wehrlein. Well, that's not even the whole truth actually, because Wehrlein was tangling with Perez. So in a weird way, both Force India drivers have tangled. They've actually taken one of themselves out. So Lewis Hamilton coming into the pits already. This is lap 3 of the Grand Prix and Hamilton's pitting already. I mean, I know the ultra soft tyres can't do many laps, but that really is going some. but he's fitting on the soft tyres as Lewis Hamilton. That's the exact opposite strategy of what I'm doing, and well, we'll have to see what happens there, of course, because, you know, different strategies now suddenly means that the Grand Prix is going to be a lot more difficult to track. But lap 4, I'm coming into the pits this lap. Actually, so is my teammate. That's I would say a mistake on my part, but I did it on purpose, because the team wanted me to come in on lap 3, and I thought, I don't need to do that, the ultra soft tyres can do another lap. If I realised Hamilton was pitting in on lap 3, I would have come in the same lap as him, just to, you know, minimise any potential, you know, strategy error on my part. But you know, I've actually lost a couple of seconds by double stacking with Bottas, but Hamilton, he's actually almost catching up to some back markers there. He's come out ahead of Valtteri Bottas though, but crucially, he is still behind Kimi Räikkönen. That's good. That is exactly where I need Hamilton to be right now, not in first place. Because the way it seems to me is, if Hamilton wins, I mean, who knows whether I'll be in championship position, but if he's in second, I could probably win the championship. If he's in second, that's pretty easy. I think I just need to finish in the top 8. I'm almost guaranteed to do that. I've been in the top 8 ever since the second corner. And once again, I've got a pass Verstappen and Alonso, who both jumped me in the pits, as did Jenson Button, actually. So I'm back up into a net, who knows, position at this point. I'm in 15th. I've repassed Verstappen though, that's one good point, and I'm behind Jenson Button, which is pretty much where I was prior to the pit stops anyway, so it's all kind of normalised out at this point. And of course, this massive train, in fact this train is massive, yeah, it's really massive. Got past Button, got past Sebastian Vettel. Daniel Ricciardo's emerged in a good position, he's in the net 4th place. So it's just me, Ricciardo, Bottas, then Hamilton. So I'm not too far away from Hamilton, and, you know, I've got DRS on Daniel Ricciardo. This should be an easy move, actually, even though I was going to say he'd have Slipstream and Bottas, but he's dropped back a long way from my teammate, and there you go. I'm right up behind Bottas, Hamilton's just there, Ricciardo's also just there, but then the other direction. Ricciardo's behind me, Bottas is ahead, I'm in effectively 4th place. Brilliant stuff. I mean, you know, Hamilton could retire right now. I mean, no, I could retire right now, and Hamilton couldn't win the championship because he's not. What am I even saying? No, because I'm in 4th. Don't worry, I'm literally having a breakdown. Meanwhile, let's just skim over that. Valtteri Bottas, he's let me go relatively easily. You know, he just, you know, obviously there's an influence, a minor influence, or a minor reason for him to want me to win the championship, just for team pride, really. Amongst anything else, you know, it would just put Williams on the map, especially as Mercedes have won the past couple of World Championships. It would put Williams on the map, and, you know, if Bottas can help me out in some way, I'm sure he would. You know, he's a good guy like that. I'm right up behind Lewis Hamilton now. Unfortunately, most of the back markers have gone into the pits. The back markers were good because, I mean, look, I'm only a few feet behind Lewis Hamilton now, but well, unfortunately, with Carlos Sainz still out there, Hamilton's got DRS, he's passed Sainz, so that means Hamilton's in clean air, and I'm in traffic, essentially. So, if I don't get past Sainz soon, I'm losing out big time. Plus also, let's not forget, I'm on the ultra softs, and Hamilton's on the softs. So I should be much quicker than him. I should be, ideally, kind of ahead of him, you know, if not pulling away. So, the fact that he's ahead of me on slower tyres isn't good. Thankfully, I've now got past Carlos Sainz into P5. Hamilton's in 4th. So at the moment, things are still looking, well, guaranteed for my championship. But, you know, I mean, still this confusion with the strategy, of course. I mean, and then lap 10, I'm coming into the pits again. Hamilton won't be coming in for quite some time. But now I've got the super soft, so I'll be able to get a several lap undercut on Hamilton. I mean, he's out there on old soft tyres. I'm going to be out there on brand new super soft, so I could get a potentially massive undercut from this. Although, actually, there's a load of back markers there, so I really have got to get out ahead of them. And in fact, I think I have. There you go. I'm ahead of a Mano, a Renault, quite a few back markers. Well, actually, I say back markers. There's a There's a Ferrari, a Red Bull, even a McLaren actually in there. Well, I've got out ahead of them, that's good, because the last thing I need to do is to be battling with anyone really who isn't Lewis Hamilton. So, we're kind of at this stage of the Grand Prix where, I mean, there was almost... every lap someone was in the pits, because so many different people were doing different strategies, it was almost impossible to keep track of. Bottas, you may have noticed, was in the pits. I've been able to jump him in the pits, obviously, you know, getting the undercut. So, you know, not too surprising, not to mention the fact I was slightly ahead of him before I pitted anyway. So, now I'm in P8, but of course we've still got a lot of back markers who still need to pit, including Kevin Magnussen, who is the guy directly ahead of me. But, it's really difficult to tell what's going on now, because of course he's some way off in the distance. I don't know what position he's in, I don't quite know what stead he's in. I'm not even quite sure what strategy he's doing, to be honest. He might be stopping twice, which if he is, that will not be good. I've got past Magnussen though, that's one good thing. I'm only 3 positions away from guaranteed safety, let's not forget as well. P4, and Hamilton can't do anything. I'm now actually in 6th, only 2 places away from guaranteed safety, from a guaranteed championship. Lewis Hamilton though, this isn't good. Hamilton's actually leading. Kimi Raikkonen, who was leading the Grand Prix, is now down to 4th. But Raikkonen though, he's doing the same strategy as me. So, well, I mean, who knows? I mean, pretty much everyone in the top 10 is doing the same strategy as me, except for Button and both Mercedes drivers. And Mercedes haven't got a good track record of making good strategical decisions, so we'll have to hope that form stands up. Vettel did overtake me, you will have noticed. It's difficult to say whether this really matters. I mean, right now, the difference between 6th and 7th, there is no difference. For me personally, no difference. So I've been able to repass Vettel, but what this does show is people are just getting in the way. I mean, Magnussen, Vettel, what I really need is clean air to be able to set some decent lap times, and then hopefully when Hamilton comes out of the pits, I'll be miles ahead of him. Vettel wasn't really helping proceedings in that sense. In fact, speaking of Hamilton coming out of the pits, that is exactly what he's doing right now. So Hamilton is going to be close, but Hamilton, he's come out of the pits ahead of me. That isn't good, especially as he's on brand new super soft tyres, and mine are, well, really coming to the end of their life. So, P6, it doesn't matter, Hamilton is still only 1 position ahead of me, and if things stay like that, which they have been for, well, a long time now, actually, over 10 laps, if things stay like that, then championship done, regardless of where we finish. If Hamilton's only 1 place ahead of me, that's it. Button, again, another guy who was on the soft tyres, he's coming into the pits, and it's just strange, because most other people are kind of staying away from the soft tyres for the time being. As I said, apart from apart from actually only Button and both Mercedes drivers. And then this wasn't helping, Valtteri Bottas. I think it's fair to say that the teammate relationship between myself and Bottas has well and truly crumbled at this point. Because Bottas, he's just passed me. That's exactly what he's done, he's just passed me, no regard for my championship fight. And in fact, actually, that's really bad, because Bottas has taken me out of a guaranteed championship position. I mean, come on Bottas, you've got to let us through. And he isn't, he's actually defending that 4th place quite well. I mean, I've got past. He didn't let me through in any capacity, but I would have expected a little bit more teammate love from Bottas there, to be honest. But P4, it doesn't matter, that's that's going on in the background, but it doesn't matter because, well, I was in P4, I'm now in, well, a net P5 now that Vettel's jumped me in the pits, but I'm in, actually, 13th it seems. So, but that's the last pit stop for me. I'm on the soft tyres, so not the quickest compound, but let's not forget, they are brand new tyres, and, well, I mean, who knows, it still remains to be seen what everyone is doing on strategy. There's so many question marks. Jenson Button is one. He's on the soft tyres right now, which is slightly interesting. I don't quite know what strategy he's doing. Who knows? But either way, I'm in P12, make that 11. Hopefully I don't have to contend with Max Verstappen again. No, I think I've definitely maintained track position ahead of him. Still in 10th place, still just behind Jenson Button. That isn't the first time I've been directly behind him. But Sergio Perez is leading the Grand Prix. He's done one stop less than Hamilton and Rosberg. And of course Perez, he's made his name this series from stopping one less time than everyone else. Remember the Austrian Grand Prix this series, where Perez came second purely on stopping less time, stretching his tyres out. What if he does that here? That would be a brilliant story. 1 for Perez to win a Grand Prix, and 2 for it to take the championship away from Hamilton. That will be big news. That really will. That'll be 2 big headlines combined together to make one amazing story. P7, I'm still not really in a safe place though, still behind Jenson Button. Wasn't catching up to him by any means. Wasn't helped by the fact that this was happening all the time. Valtteri Bottas re-overtaking me once again. Bottas, I thought we had a good teammate relationship. Well, no, that's been completely crushed, destroyed. There's no recovering this, is there? There really isn't. I mean, I can understand from a personal point of view. In fact, actually, Vettel was trying to overtake me there. Thankfully, I've defended P7. Because it does make a difference if I drop down to 9th. That does make a difference, actually. But, anyway, what was I saying? I can understand from a personal point of view why Bottas wants to overtake me. But surely the championship for Williams matters more. And then, well, that's one problem removed. Vettel went into the side of Bottas there when me and Bottas were fighting relentlessly. That was part of the reason why I wasn't actually catching up to Jenson Button, because I had Bottas and Vettel to worry about every lap. P6, I'm in now 6th place. That's not safe, but Lewis Hamilton's coming into the pits again. We've only got a handful of laps left to go. He may be fitting on the Ultra Softs, but he's in the pits again. That seems like a mistake to me. Where exactly is he? 4th. He's in 4th place. That is a mistake. Rosberg's coming into the pits again. He's doing the same strategy, so Hamilton's in 3rd. But he's going to be a way behind. I mean, last time we saw, Perez was ahead of Hamilton. Well, unfortunately, Perez he is still ahead of Hamilton, but not massively. In fact, actually, oh no, this is worrying. Kimi Raikkonen isn't too far ahead of Perez himself. No, this isn't great, because Hamilton, I think we know what's going to happen here. Yep, DRS, slipstream, more powerful engine, you'd assume, from Mercedes. He's got past Perez. It doesn't matter. Where am I? 6th, 7th? Doesn't matter where I am. Hamilton's in 2nd. There's nothing I can really do at this point. This is kind of the sad thing. All I gotta do is just watch Kimi Raikkonen. With 1 2/3 laps left to go, Kimi Raikkonen, my championship is in his hands. But unfortunately, he hasn't got the car, he hasn't got the tyres, he hasn't got the DRS. And I think right now he hasn't got the track position either. And there you go, that is Lewis Hamilton into 1st place. Kimi Raikkonen, nothing he can do, not with that car, not with those tyres. He's down to 2nd place. I've only got 1.5 laps left to go. We're going to need some major luck right now. I'm in P6. I mean, Button's in 5th. I got Verstappen passing me. I mean, after 20 Grand Prix, I thought I knew everything. I thought I knew the drivers, the teams. I thought I knew everything. But no, because Red Bull's just passed a Williams in a straight line. The amount of episodes where I've said that that's academic, that a Williams is going to pass a Red Bull, but then the exact opposite has just happened. Honestly, a dramatic Grand Prix. It really has kicked off these final few laps. It really has. But Lewis Hamilton, he's taken the championship from right under my nose. Because on lap 28 of the 2016 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Hamilton crosses the line in 1st to win the Drivers' Championship. And that's such a shame. I mean, unless we're going to get some major luck right now, and we're not. We're not. I need P4. I'm in 7th. 3 places off.
Look, we've missed out on the title, and I know you're disappointed, but you've done a fantastic job this season. Really fantastic. We'll go on better next year.
Well, I'm glad to see that Jeff was pleased with my efforts. But there you go. Hamilton. That's his 7th race win of the season. even if we're going on Bernie Ecclestone's proposed medal system, Lewis would have won the championship, so never to mind the conventional point system, but there you go. There you go. Needed fourth. I mean, there was so much of that Grand Prix where I was directly behind Hamilton, and I ended up finishing miles behind. To be fair, Mercedes perfected the strategy, because, you know, when I was in that train with Hamilton, in that conditions, I should have passed Hamilton easily, but with kind of the train, it neutralised it, which meant the difference between his soft tyre pace and my ultra soft tyre pace was negligible. And then, so obviously, when the tables turned, when there's clean air, Hamilton was able to use his ultra soft tyres, which is what I wasn't able to do. But there you go, Hamilton, he beat me in the championship by 4 points in the end. But to be honest, hand on heart, as a YouTuber, this has been a fantastic series. Look, Pascal Wehrlein, he's bottom in the championship, but even then he still scored 4 points. That tells you alone how interesting the series has been. I forgot to check the Constructors' Championship there, but here it is. It's just Mercedes, Williams, Ferrari, etc. You get the idea by now. But no, honestly, the ending aside, this has been a fantastic series. I mean, even then, the ending, I mean, it looked like I was going to win a championship for a lot of that Grand Prix, and then suddenly, the last 5 laps, Hamilton just turned up. But no, this has been a fantastic series, courtesy of the fact that F1 2016 is a very entertaining game, you know. I mean, lots of the Grand Prix this season have been fantastic. The Austrian Grand Prix was a definite highlight, but, you know, I mean, this has been a very fun series to record, to watch back, edit, commentate over. Lots of the Grand Prix have been very entertaining. Some have been mesmerising. But yeah, I think that's all there really is to say. This series will be carrying on probably when F1 2017 comes out, and if that is the case, 2017, will that finally be the year where I beat Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes?